Some of them good vibes, good vibes. We bring the fire, tell them say we not go play around and we no tire. Till we run the town, you know we happy take it higher. Definition not the usual, cause we did fire. Yeah, because of me you see the truth's getting hotter. Getting hotter, truth's getting hotter. Sababu yangu bado tu wamedata. Wamedata, tu wamedata. Because of me you see the truth's getting hotter. Getting hotter, truth's getting hotter. Sababu yangu bado tu wamedata. Wamedata, tu wamedata. Some say we a doctor. Read it through your morning, call me the chiropractor. Industry a boxing, so they say me have a laptop. Too many MCs around them have me back up. Some give a panther. Give me the pen and paper, let me show you where me come from. Africa, me say me have to brother where me come from. Love tell me signing out the calligraph and take on. We bring the fire, tell them say we not go play around and we no tire. Till we run the town, you know we have to take it higher. Definition not the usual, cause we did fire. Yeah, because of me you see the truth's getting hotter. Getting hotter, truth's getting hotter. Sababu yangu bado tu wamedata. Wamedata, tu wamedata. Because of me you see the truth's getting hotter. Getting hotter, truth's getting hotter. Sababu yangu bado tu wamedata. Wamedata, tu wamedata.
Yeah, I'm feeling the vibe, I'm feeling the track, I'm feeling the tune, I'm feeling the ride. I'm bringing it back, original soon, cause I was told that in this life, you ought to be ready before you get old. So think it twice, whether you have to do it or not. I'm in my time, I'm gonna talk, I'm feeling the tema. I'm in the job, I'm gonna check out, I'm in the album, I'm in the tenga, I'm in the daga, I'm in the haraka, I'm in the walapa, I'm in the sema, I'm in the album, I'm in the manta, I'm in the rap,
oh na na na, oh na na na, hey. Some rubber dubbing now in life once again. Oh na na na, oh na na na, hey.
DJ Lover.
Me na yeah, me na yeah, me na yeah, me na yeah yeah. She tell me nothing coulda break our love, never going nowhere. Me na yeah yeah, me na yeah, me na yeah, me na yeah, me na yeah yeah. She tell me nothing coulda break our love, never going nowhere. Me na yeah yeah. Sababu hapa tani na mimi, hakuna tu wengine ni sisi wawili. Kwangu ni wa kwanza na sio wa pili. Hiyo ndio fun kwani iko nini? No say that she love a boy and nobody compare. Truly she deserve when we call her my dear. When you're ready for your lifetime, take it right there. Me there for you baby anytime, anywhere. Me na yeah, me na yeah, me na yeah, me na yeah yeah. She tell me nothing coulda break our love, never going nowhere. Me na yeah yeah, me na yeah, me na yeah. Me na yeah, me na yeah yeah. She tell me nothing coulda break our love, never going nowhere. Me na yeah yeah.
Hey yo everybody and welcome to the Afrogenge show ndani ya Triple P TV. They call me DJ Slava aka the corporate DJ. Na ndani ya show leo mazee tuko na legend ambaye amekuwa hapa since 1990s, 2000s. Yani amekuwa kwa hizi generation zote paka saizi bado yuko relevant. He's been there as the dancehall artist, R&B artist. Amekuwa hapa mazee ako na brand 3 ama 4. Yeah, and if you don't know who you're talking about, amekuwa pale kama Necessary Noise, amekuwa pale kama East African Bashment, amekuwa pale kama Wyre the Love Child. Kevin Wyre aka the Love Child ndani ya show. Enjoy.
Welcome to Afrogenge ndani ya Triple P. I am your host Kavata Masigrace, and our guest artist today is one legend by the name Kevin Wyre, aka the Love Child. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Thanks.
It's an honor having you.
It's about time. I've been watching you guys.
You've been watching us?
I'm loving this show.
Thank you so much. So, wasanii wamekuwa as in mafans wamekuwa kiulizia who is Wyre. So we want to know who is Wyre. Where did you, as in ulizaliwa wapi, umegrow wapi?
I grew up in Nairobi, born in Nairobi. My folks moved us to Athi River at some point, so I grew most of my childhood in Athi River. I fell in love with music very early in my age. Father alikuwa na the largest collection of vinyl kwa nyumba, so mimi I grew up nikisikiza wasanii wengi, you name it, from Elvis, Boney M to Jackson 5 nini. So muziki ni kitu nilipenda at an early age. Shortly nikiingia high school nikaanza kuandika ngoma zangu. Nika join school choir. Tuliform a cappella group inaitwa Soul Park tukianza nini high school. So I started performing at a very early age. So at least stage fright ilishia shule.
Ilishia high school.
Nilipata nini enough training ground. And yeah, ever since, man, it's been music all the way. Shortly after I finished high school, I remember getting into a talent competition called the Showdown. Ilikuwa inafanyika every end of year, every December, na ilikuwa imeorganiziwa na company inaitwa Shilton Entertainment. Akina Big Kev na Big Ted back then. Na nilishinda hiyo category yangu for best R&B act. In fact kuna picha ya black and white inafanya the rounds. Picha vizuri kwa net. Hiyo ndio award nilikuwa nikireceive Big Ted akisimama nyuma yangu. And yeah, man.
Blessed be to the Most High. Jah Rastafari. Walk fire.
Usiku wote umelala, mashida ukiwaza, chuki umekutaza, matendo ya wengine kwako nayo ya kukataza, kuishi vyema kwa raha. Funga macho, weongea na Mola, umweleze nini kitakutoa kwenye mtego uliokushika. Ni baba yako pia rafiki yako. Yes,
Bedhe wase utoka mbali, wasanii mazee uingia studio leo alafu wanasema wanataka kuwa masuperstar. Wyre pia kuanza kuplay soft. Sijui yeye mwanzo wake ilikuwaje wakati alienda studio mara yake ya kwanza. Response ilikuwaje na producer. Hebu tusikie from the legend himself, Wyre, the love child.
Nakumbuka nikisema if I'm not going to work with the best producer at that time, sitawaka na mtu yoyote. And for sure I worked on my demo and nikaenda nika hand over to nikapeleka kwa studio ya Ted Josiah. Now the funny thing is that ile siku tulienda kupeleka demo hata tukufunguliwa gate. Caretaker alifungua, unajua ile shimo ya gate
pale
ya kufungua latch, alifungulia hapo akisema unataka nini?
That's sad.
So nikamshow nataka kupatia Ted demo yangu. Akasema Ted yuko. Na nikicheki viti na cheki kuna gap ya gate pale, unaona ndege yake. Akasema haina noma. So I dropped off my demo and then nikacha contact. Luckily enough after about a week niliget phone call na nikaambiwa kuna vile Ted anataka kukucheki kwa studio. Nikachapia
That was after listening to your demo?
After he listened to it.
Okay.
So nikaenda after about a week or so. Nimekaa hapo kwa reception naona kina sijui Johnny wa Kalamashaka amepita hivi sijui nani. Na hizo siku mwanzo kina Johnny walikuwa kama wewe sijui ulikuwa nani. Alafu Ted alikuwa kama P Diddy hizo siku mwanzo. Yani if you're not working with Ted work na mtu wote maana that time. So tukaitwa kwa studio. Nikiingia studio nikampata amechill na nikapata Ted amechill na Ambrose Mandugu Digital. Tukaintroduceana, akaniambia I listened to your demo na I'll tell you something that I didn't even tell Kalamashaka. You're tight. You have a lot of talent. demo was very tight. So unajua mimi niko hapo najifanya niko relaxed.
Niko relaxed, tuko easy.
Ndani nimechapa backflips maze. Bwana nimefurahi yangu yote maze. But ulikaa pidi ndio nakwambia maze demo yako noma. Sema ina noma. So nikamwambia thanks, akaniambia come back after a week, let's see what we can start working on. So yeah, tukapatana, we started working on my first single. And the vibe ilikuwa R&B, ilikuwa inaitwa Sikiza.
Yeah.
Na nakumbuka fiti sana kwa climax ya nini ya hiyo ngoma. Nilifanya Ted alisema tuna need kukupush to the edge, kupunguza rap. Ndio unaweza kwani
tarusha mistari.
Tunasema nipatie flow kama ya twister hivi nini. Nani mimi nayo man. So in my first single I actually rapped also in the climax. And I'll never forget the first time I had my song on radio. Kulikuwa na show ilikuwa nakuja Capital usiku, ilikuwa inaitwa East African Chart Show. Na host alikuwa Dennis Ndavi. So mimi niko hapo nasikiza kwa radio, Ted ameniambia wewe stay tuned nini to radio. So Ted akafanya grand introduction, alipigiwa simu na Dennis Ndavi on air, akamwambia sema what's up East Africa, next up we're introducing East Africa's R&B bad boy. Wyre. Ngome kaanza buda backflips kwa hao. Nilifurahi yangu yote baze.
Juu umesikika kwa radio for the first time.
All these years I've been waiting for. Yeah. In that one moment, it made me so happy. And now that around the same time, kulikuwa na hiyo competition ya kutafuta, kulikuwa na talent search on Capital. Na hiyo ndio ile kina Nameless, Morani na Kazo walishinda. So tulikuwa tunapata studio around the same time. That's how I got to meet Nameless. Around the same time Nazizi pia alikuwa na record at the same studio, which is Audio Vault. And walikuwa wamewakia project inaitwa Kenyan the second chapter. Na kulikuwa ile ngoma yake mama nataka kuwa rapper, ile ngoma yake. So nilimit up na yeye nikamwambia I like your style man. Na akasema na like flow yako pia, so we try and work on a project together. So tukaambia Ted. Ted akasema okay, let's start working on a project, let's see. Akaanza kuwakia beat around the same time. Kuna jamaa alikuwa na come studio pia akitry kutafuta deal. Na hiyo ilikuwa K-Rapt. And so we started working on a song. Ted akasuggest ya K-Rapt mazisurukie kwa hii track pia. So tulifanya ngoma yetu ya first as a collab as myself and Azizi and K-Rapt. Tulipigia tizi, hata tukaanza kupigia tizi ya kuiperform, stage act nini, but we never got to release it. Around the same time I think K-Rapt pia alikuwa na approach na Ogopa kufanya project. So I think they got into an agreement and I think he got signed on to Ogopa. Mimi na Nas tukaendelea kuwork on the track. At some point Ted akiwa hiyo track, now the next track which was Clang Clang, Ted kept on saying to we need an English rapper, we need an English rapper on this song. Who do you think we can get? Nas akasema kuna jamaa mmoja najua I've known for quite some time and he's got some buzz. So akakam studio na akaleta Bamzigi. So Bamzi flowed he did like 16 bars for Ted akasema that's the sound we're looking for. Yenda ni a track. And that's how we did our first single as Necessary Noise.
Oh, hold on, wait. There is that Necessary Noise. As in, who came up with that name?
Now I was getting to that. Around the same time, Safaricom was launching in Kenya.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
I know.
Safaricom was launching in Kenya, and Audio Vault had gotten the contract to do activations for Safaricom. So nakumbuka the first weekend we were performing, tulikuwa na events mbili. First one was at Nakumatt UK. So in the morning tushaenda, mid morning tushapanda stage, the road show tumepiga show zetu. We really killed the show. When we got back into the van, our manager David Moyede came and said, guys, listen, by the next show, I'm not going to introduce you as Wyre, Nazizi and Bamzi. Look for a name before the next show. I'm tired of introducing you like that. Sasa ndio stress mate. Tunaanza kufikiria sasa tufanye nini kutenda ngoma. That was the longest thread we thought of names. So we're thinking BWNZ.
The initials of your
corny,
names.
but yeah, it sounds corny, man. We don't sound that shady.
Yeah.
Thinking, I don't know what. Then from nowhere, Nas was like, necessary noise. So kukakuwa na silence kwa ndai. Kila mtu kusema, yes, that's what we were looking for. Because it describes us. You know, normally if you put 3 different artists with totally different styles on one track, you'll definitely come out with noise.
Yeah.
But in our case, it was necessary because it gelled so well. So we were happy with that sound. So by the time tufike backstage, Divya akasema, Gina, kwa necessary noise, akasema, sawa, hapo sawa. And we've never turned back from then, man. So we worked on our first album as Necessary Noise. It was self-titled. First single was Clang Clang, second was Lovers Rock, ya tatu ilikuwa Shujaa. And yeah, we dropped the album. We tulifanya launch by Italia. For those who remember where that is. And one thing that made the music big back then, ilikuwa stage act yetu.
Yeah.
We used to go all out, man. We used to light up a fire on stage, like literally. Carry a trowel and light up a fire on stage. Then I remember at the launch, we had a convoy of like 10 cars.
Yeah.
CNB was our crew back then, Kina Prezo and Kina Firoz. There was so much hype. By the time we were getting on stage, first the convoy of cars, security going in, the DJ is happening. We're not saying necessary, you say noise. It's crazy that time. And then the fire is on stage. So me and Babzi jumped through the fire and started hyping the crowd. Noise, necessary noise. And then, I'll never forget this, we got Nazizi to come in from behind the crowd.
Yeah.
The one thing I remember is this one lady, she was screaming, then she turned like this, she saw Nas. She fainted.
Whoa. She fainted.
She passed out. There was so much hype inside there, man.
Yeah.
It was crazy, man.
So,
I'll never forget that album.
What happened? Because you guys were so tight, the hype and all that. What happened until you guys like separated?
Well, okay, we did a couple of shows.
Yeah.
Like I said, the stage act really created a lot of demand for people. Started calling stations and asking you guys, man, did you see what these guys did last time on last weekend on stage? What are you guys? How come you're not playing the music? I remember Safari Sevens at some point. While the DJ was hyping that we were getting on stage, we came through the crowd on Ducati bikes.
Whoa.
It was crazy. We're being ridden and everybody's with their mic. It was mad. By the time we're getting on stage, the fireworks, everything, the fire. So that created a lot of demand for necessary noise. But now, unfortunately, both Nas and Bamzi had to travel to Malaysia for further studies.
Okay.
And this was about 2 months after we released the album.
Yeah.
So what happened, it sort of affected our ability to market the album successfully. But they had to go into their studies. I mean, and I had pursued my mass communication just before, in fact, during the production of that. Yeah, man.
Do you practice?
I would have been in your seat, by the way, hosting people now. Yeah, so, and I did my internship at Audio Vault, and I became, I was their first intern, so I got my first full-time job there as a producer. So when they traveled, mi nikaendelea na production work yangu. I started producing for many artists. In fact, I'm really glad I got into production because it helped me grow as an artist, and it helped me define my sound. I was privileged to produce for many artists, Kina Red Sun, Kina Prezo, Achianga Bura, Gidi Gidi Maji Maji, Alahola. There's so many guys I worked on back then.
By that time, how were you handling the production part and you as an artist?
Well, I wasn't performing much as yet at that point, because now the group had left. So I was really focused on the production side of things. If I was doing appearances, kidogo hapa na pale, because I hadn't released a lot of my solo stuff at that point. But at some point I started releasing my solo stuff because I started working on my solo album. After about a year or two, both Naz and Bamzi came back.
Yeah.
And at that point, Coke was sponsoring a couple of projects. The first project was DJ's album, and Ted proposed to these guys, to Coke, that we should do a Necessary Noise comeback album, and that's how when we started working the second album.
Yeah.
So still as both, all three of us, Naz, Bamzi, and myself. However, halfway through the project, Bamzi's folks wanted him to go back and clear his studies. So he came to us and he told us, guys, you know what, I don't want to be responsible for halting the project again.
Yeah.
Because last time we left that project on board. Now with this other one, I don't want to be the cause of this project stalling.
Yeah.
So me and Naz decided, hey, okay, well, I mean, we gave him blessings. There was no hard feelings. We were like, okay, me and Naz will still continue the project. Let's see how far it will go. And that's when we worked on the Kenyan Boy album. And we have no regrets. I have no regrets of ever taking part in the album, because now the Kenyan Boy album put both me and Naz in a place, in a very good place as household names. Guys got to know who's Wyre and his style, and Naz as well. And we traveled everywhere, man. We toured.
That time we
really toured with Naz, man. Naz, she's blood, she's my sister, man. Now kabisa, hakuna mani tujaenda naye.
Hii track inaenda kwa wazi wote wa ma3, dere wa ma3, konda wa ma3, pia kama unapanda ma3, Necessary Noise.
Boy, 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 that Kenyan boy make me heart skip a bit like boy. The way he move on the dance floor, boy. He a original Kenyan boy.
Yo, Wyre, the love child, Nazizi, the first lady, we make it hot. You know, we make it hot.
Kenyan girl, won't you come take a walk with me?
Namtaka Charlie wa Nairobi. Kenyan boy, won't you come take a walk with me?
Oh, tunataka manzi wa Nairobi. Kenyan girl, won't you come take a walk with me?
Namtaka Charlie wa Nairobi. Kenyan boy, won't you come take a walk with me?
Oh, tunataka manzi wa Nairobi.
Nilikutana na yeye nikipanda 23 kwenye bus stop akinicheki secretly. Jamaa was so fly, yo karibu mini bleki, akapanda ma3 karibu na mikaketi. Immediately sikungoja sikusleki, nikajidai excuse me unafegi. Got his attention, sasa poa mambo deadly. Ni aje chali, vipi unaitwa nani? Mi naitwa Naz na Burundio mtaani. Where you going to? Unashuka upande gani? And if you don't mind, twende roundi mtaani. I like the way you smell, hiyo ni cologne gani? Umenibamba style nyingine deadly yani. Unapenda reggae, nina collection nyumbani. Tumefika kuja piga left hapa njiani. Pop some of that tuongee mambo flani.
Kenyan girl, won't you come take a walk with me?
Namtaka Charlie wa Nairobi. Kenyan boy, won't you come take a walk with me?
Oh, tunataka manzi wa Nairobi. Kenyan girl, won't you come take a walk with me?
Namtaka Charlie wa Nairobi. Kenyan boy, won't you come take a walk with me?
Oh, tunataka manzi wa Nairobi. Like the way she want to hide among her friends, yeah. Beautiful little makeup on her face, yeah. Little shy but she brave when she gypsy. On the floor on her waist like she gypsy. Gucci dress kinda high above her knees. Slim figure like a model from Venice. She be manicured, you know that be has cheese. Kinda smile that I believe you. Not a man want to step up, you know them all afraid to walk up and feature her. Them want to know her name. See all the man them want to get her and buy her what she drink. To all of them she like a threat, you know she be me Kenyan girl. Kenyan girl, won't you come take a walk with me?
Namtaka Charlie wa Nairobi. Kenyan boy, won't you come take a walk with me?
Oh, tunataka manzi wa Nairobi. Kenyan girl, won't you come take a walk with me?
Namtaka Charlie wa Nairobi. Kenyan boy, won't you come take a walk with me?
Oh, tunataka manzi wa Nairobi.
Boy, 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 that Kenyan boy make me heart skip a bit like boy. The way he move on the dance floor, boy. He a original Kenyan boy.
So na shift yako from R&B as in now to reggae.
Now,
How was that?
What guys didn't know was I listened to a lot of reggae growing up as well. My first tape ever. The first album I ever owned was a Don Carlos and Gold tape.
Okay.
So I fell in love with reggae that early. I think I was like 8 years old. Then came in the Yellow Man's, Shabarang, Shabarang's Bon Jamaican Snow. So I really listened to it and I got the lingo right.
Yeah.
And I started writing my music that way as well. So I got a lot of practice when it came to doing the dancehall. Even my first demo for TED was an R&B and dancehall fusion.
Yeah.
So it's something I always wanted to pursue. The Necessary Noise album, I got to do a lot of reggae and dancehall on it. So we pushed that project for a couple of years. I think close to 4 to 5 years. It really took off. And then, see, both me and Naz were initially solo artists, then we grouped up to form Necessary Noise. But it was always our plan to get back to our solo projects. So actually, one of the first people who ever heard Chuki was Nazizi, because when I produced it, I called her to the studio to come and have a listen. And I started working on my first solo album, which was called Definition of a Love Child. The reason I called it that is because I wanted guys to get to know me as a solo act now, get to know my style and my sound, and both my passions, which are both R&B and dancehall.
Yeah.
So the first single I dropped from that album was Chuki. Chuki took off, man, like wildfire. People loved it.
It was actually my favorite.
Yeah, thanks, man. So they loved it, and they loved the sound. They could many people could relate to the story. A couple of months after I dropped Make a Choice.
Yeah.
The reason I did that is because I wanted guys to know I'm also a dancehall artist.
Yeah.
Now that one really took off because it was a club banger. I could perform it with a lot of energy on stage. The clubs jumped on it, and DJs, they loved the sound. Yeah, and I pursued that project, and I dropped my first solo album, which was Definition of a Love Child.
Ni sababu gani mwanitenda hivi? Uongo manena kunihusu mimi, hamnifahamu, hamjui chenye nafanya maishani mwangu nyumbani. Mlijidai eti nyie marafiki, kumbe nia zenu zilikuwa kundi, kunitenganisha na mpenzi wa roho yangu na kuniacha mashakani, taabani. Ni chuki ndo nahisi, waza jinsi mlivyojitolea kuniudhi bila matokeo, yani chuki ndo nahisi, waza jinsi mlivyojitolea kuniudhi bila matokeo, yani.
Yo, what's up guys? Steve Ligami hapa. Afrogenge is the show. Segment News Saving the Youth. Leo tuko na none other than Wyre, greatest dancehall artist south of Sahara Desert, ndani ya East Africa, Kenya. So today we are going to talk about how to control what you post on social media, especially for people who are in the limelight. Na kila mtu mwenye ako social media, Wyre is going to help us talk about it. Thank you. Nice. Thank you for coming, Wyre.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah. So, niaje Wyre?
Niko fiti.
When you old school artist, old generation artist, you are still in the new generation side. Tunapambana. You've been there, umekuwa consistent sana.
Thanks.
And sijaiona uko na scandal, social media, you are solid, you're tight. So tell us, how do you go about posting what you do online, social media? How do you keep it professional?
I think for social media means works differently for different people.
Yeah.
Some people ina depend na personality yako. Me, I'm a very private person.
Okay.
Kuna watu our mind ku put all their matters out in
Okay.
public. For me, I prefer my whole life is in the limelight. Niko kama siko stage, niko on TV. Kama siko on TV, niko somewhere.
Yeah.
A music video playing.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I have to myself is my privacy when I go back home. So I cherish that. That's why utaona si document kila kitu naiweka out there. Although kuna watu wengine bado wana thrive nayo, kwao it works with them. Unajua unaamka, unaonyesha watu umekula nini breko, unaonyesha watu chenye unavaa, ile soap utatumia kuoga, mtoi wako, jina yake, yani for some people it's different. So it really depends on what works for you.
Yeah.
I think social media is a very personal thing. Na kama si character yako kuweka your stuff out in public. Lengana tu nayo. It's up to you. Simama hapo na nisema ni kitu mbaya kutia.
As somebody in the limelight, how would you advise this upcoming young artist in how they can post or control their post in order for them also to get endorsements, deals, shows that maybe with corporate and all that?
I would say, you know what, whatever you post, your social media represents you as a brand.
Yeah.
See where post to. It's whatever you post about describes your character as a person, what you stand for as an artist, your principles, what you believe in. You know what I mean? So, ndo nasema it's a very personal decision for you to decide what you're going to post out there. Kama kuna products that you don't believe in consuming, and it's against your beliefs or your principles, hakuna haja kupambana kupost vitu kama hizo and it doesn't depict you. You know what I mean? However, unafaa kuwa responsible sana since you're in the public eye. Unajua kuna followers wengi, kuna many people that look up to you. You need to be very careful about what you post, because for whatever you do, it's a final word for your followers. By the way, ujamaa akifanya hivi anamaanisha this is the right thing to do. They believe in you totally. You know what I mean? So whatever you say is like Bible. It's like the final word for guys. Now you have to decide your influence. Do you want it to be positive or do you want it to be negative? No, niwe kuamua. You know what I mean? I'd rather my influence go for the positive side. At the end of the day.
Okay. On our show, most of the demographic for the people who watch the show is the youth, the young people. And we have so many girls looking for guys to do videos in, vixens. So most of them do like very explicit posts. They post very like even sexual memes and stuff like that. What would you say to these people? If maybe you're looking for vixens, would you go to Instagram and get them, or how would you advise them to do?
I'll tell you one thing that the internet never forgets. It never forgets. So whatever you post now, in a few years, when you have kids and stuff, they might just come across it. You know what I mean? So it's up to you to make that decision. I'm not going to stand there and say this is right or this is wrong. It's up to you to make that personal decision. But remember, the internet never forgets. So you need to be very careful. Is it whatever you post? Is it what you stand for? Do you think it's something that when you look back you will regret or not? Utaki regrets ukishafika huko mbele. Sasa nilikuwa nafanya.
So hata as much as unasema hivyo, so a lot of artists, most of artists wasai with what they sing and what they do, not after vixen, I'll go on their IG. If she doesn't have such kind of pictures, even for the lady artist, if this guy is not buffed ama nakasijui aje amepost nini, unafaa kuambiaje how they don't choose this when wako decent ama wako nini? What's up with that?
I think that there's a professional way of getting professional vixens to work. Kuna my agency, you know what I mean? And those agencies have their own
portfolios and stuff,
profiles and websites. So at least that way you're guaranteed it's somebody who, one, the vixens will get their money. Two, they won't be swindled. Three, it's professional. They'll get there on time. They'll come with their professional makeup artists. So itakutoa a lot of pressure from you as the artist, unaona, than kutafuta tu independently on their own. You know what I mean? If you need that professional vetting, you'd rather deal with an agency. Na headache ya kufikisha models kwa shoot na nini si yako.
But some artists say it's too expensive to go via.
Well, it depends. I mean, there are deals you can still pull off with this agency. You know what I mean? If you know some of these victims on a personal level, maybe you can work out a little bit out.
Okay, okay. Sawa. Thank you very much, Wyre.
Nana, thanks for having me. Shukran.
Yeah.
Now hear the sounds of Wyre, Peter and Gramps Morgan.
Oh, this is not a song.
Baby, coming on me up. Let me show you how me want treat you from the start. Baby, true loving from me on. Never let that thing try to break we apart. Baby, coming on me up. Let me show you how me want treat you from the start. Baby, true loving from me on. Never let that thing try to break we apart. Guarantee this to you, to you, to you, to you. Let me guarantee this to you, to you, to you, to you. Hey. She hot stepper, she never half stepper. She up in on me thoughts every time me I let her be. Me want to get her see, write her love letter see. Tell her how me feeling on me heart till me get her see. So many times she slip away from me. Need a little more time to make her wait upon me. And when they get up on me yard, she the only one who get me love on me yard. Hey, baby, coming on me yard. Let me show you how me want treat you from the start. Hey, true loving from me yard. Never let that thing try to break we apart. Baby, coming on me yard. Let me show you how me want treat you from the start. Hey, true loving from me yard. Never let that thing try to break we apart. Guarantee this to you, to you, to you, to you. Let me guarantee this to you, to you, to you, to you. Hey.
Yeah.
DJ Slaver.
This one goes out to all the single mothers out there. Yeah. And I just wanna let you know that I cherish you and I respect you. Looking back at the days and the time, maisha ilikuwa ni hard bila kujali. Kukula ugali ngware chai bila skari, kutoka tarakize mpaka darasani. Saa zingine nilifukuzwa juu ya school fees, job na yo mother hajalipwa miezi mbili. Kuishi na baba ilikuwa tu ni mfano wa baba na kushinda tu nikiwaza kama hali ilikuwa je, maisha ingekuwa sawa au ndrama je? Kwenye siku za usoni, kwenye tabu na furaha, tupate au tukose, mother alikazana. Oh mama, how I really love ya, umenilea toka mwanzo hadi sasa. Nashukuru wala kutupa hizi baraka. Asante mama kwa yote uliyofanya.
Giving it all back to you, and I wanna thank you, and I wanna thank you. Whenever I needed to lean on you, you would stay true, you would stay true. The only thing that I need from you is one promise, that you're gonna be my guardian angel, always, always. My guardian angel, guardian angel, always, always. My guardian angel, guardian angel, always, always. My guardian angel, always, always. My guardian angel, always, always.
DJ Slaver.
Ninahisi nikimwona, najua nina mali, wakituona wauliza mbona hatukusana. Nishampata yule, ashanipata yeah. We in a dancehall party, going on to the party. Love type and the guests. Hey, we in a dancehall party, going on to the party. Love type and the guests. We in a dancehall party, up in the party we a get fire started. You know you want to come party, tell your friend we have a dancehall party. We in a dancehall party, up in the party we a get fire started. You know you want to come party, tell your friend we have a dancehall party. We have a party, everybody come party. From Nairobi, it's another dedication. From the love child. Music on your radio station. Anything that we do, a lot of preparation. Cause we beat on the top, we do the regulation. Rubber dub and dance, I know what a combination. Be the uptown and get a youth around the nation. Hypocrite from side, from them head to stay on. Anytime, any take a we the one that mention. Hey, can you know that you feeling this tune? Throw your hands up in the air, say. Every time that you need a bigger tune, live it to the love child, say. We in the dance and party, up in the party, we a get fire started. You know you want to come party, tell your friend we have a dance and party. We in the dance and party, up in the party, we a get fire started. You know you want to come party, tell your friend we have a dance and party. You know we have a party, everybody come party. Yeah, you know we have a party, everybody come party. Yeah, you know we have a party, everybody come party. Yeah, you know we have a party, everybody come party.
DJ Slaver.
Make a choice, put your girl, make a choice. Make a choice, put your girl, make a choice.
Homeboys production.
Make a choice, put your girl, make a choice. Make a choice, put your girl, make a choice. Is it me or your ex-boyfriend? Make a choice, put your girl, make a choice. Your answer to me will be a choice. Make a choice, put your girl, make a choice. Is it me or your ex-boyfriend? Make a choice, put your girl, make a choice. Your answer to me will be a choice. Make a choice, put your girl, make a choice. You're so cool when it comes to your little antics. All your sneaky ways and your little small tricks. Don't you know that me was a player for you met me? All the games that you played, them are not new to me. When we met you, girl, you didn't have a penny to your name. So call on me time to take away all your pain. Know your ex-boyfriend, if that you're thinking. Whether staying with the love child is not the real thing. Been called by your principal. The choice you're making for now could be critical. Just remember, be wise when you're choosing. In the long run, it's you abusing. Is it me or your ex-boyfriend? Make a choice, put your girl, make a choice. Answer to me will be a choice. Make a choice, put your girl, make a choice. Is it me or your ex-boyfriend? Make a choice, put your girl, make a choice. Answer to me will be a choice. Make a choice, put your girl, make a choice.
waxaan caashaqa ka qaaday quruxda lagu ladhay xishoodka dabciga lagu daray aqoonta asluubta.
Baby, could you be the woman for me? Depends on what you know I need. Baby, I think I'm kujela high. Niwe tundo na tafuta.
waxaan caashaqa ka qaaday quruxda lagu ladhay xishoodka dabciga lagu daray aqoonta asluubta.
Baby, could you be the woman for me? Depends on what you know I need. Baby, I think I'm kujela high. Niwe tundo na tafuta.
qadarintiya garashadeeda qasalka dhoon lahaa caddaynta cabariya qoorta toosan qotonka joogiyo itaalka qaabkuu sameeyey qoral iyo hees ma koobto midabka waa qaansa-rooba eegmada indhaha qancaya waxaan caashaqa ka qaaday quruxda lagu ladhay xishoodka dabciga lagu daray aqoonta asluubta.
Baby, could you be the woman for me? Depends on what you know I need. Baby, I think I'm kujela high. Niwe tundo na tafuta.
waxaan caashaqa ka qaaday quruxda lagu ladhay xishoodka dabciga lagu daray aqoonta asluubta.
Baby, could you be the woman for me? Depends on what you know I need. Baby, I think I'm kujela high. Niwe tundo na tafuta. See the remedy, and you me everything. Not for loving coming to your way. Ni se menini. Only part time we are spent. She a friend of me. Never in her life that she could have been me enemy. See my approval. What a little show me no the one. Lion see how when you would you be my number one? Yeah, I think I Kelly and Kudonaya. They call me love child. See no buyer.
waxaan caashaqa ka qaaday quruxda lagu ladhay xishoodka dabciga lagu daray aqoonta asluubta.
Baby, could you be the woman for me? Depends on what you know I need. Baby, I think I'm kujela high. Niwe tundo na tafuta.
waxaan caashaqa ka qaaday quruxda lagu ladhay xishoodka dabciga lagu daray aqoonta asluubta.
Sweet Selector, please don't stop the vibes. Please don't stop the good vibes, yeah. The good vibes, yeah. We not stick with the program. This time can we go for the home run? Full time realize we be on one. With the kicks and the snare and the sound, yeah. Musical evolution, fool around with a whole heap of fusion. Free license right on the groove and out with the old, in with the new one. Yo, reggae music for the nation. Dance all taking over intimidation. Go my image, she canale, quiet station. Full of good vibes for the next generation. Selector, please don't stop the vibes. Please don't stop the good vibes, yeah. The good vibes, yeah. Mr. Selector, please don't stop the vibes. Please don't stop the good vibes, yeah. The good vibes, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Wyre, LA. Oh.
Love Child Records.
Said she want a man
DJ
who be
Lover.
faithful. She don't want a man who be so ungrateful. She don't need a love to be painful. More time for your heart, she be grateful.
Wyre make me wanna say nakupenda pia, pia, aha, nakupenda pia. You make me wanna say nakupenda pia, pia, aha, nakupenda pia, pia, pia.
She don't care about me background story and thing. All she wants in life is oneness and thing. Saying to myself, me want this fine thing. Put me give and check to say the right thing. Listen, yeah, let me put a ring on it. Share it to me name, let her make you one call it. Them call me love child, consider me on it. Coming on me tongue, let me show you how me run it. She want a man who be faithful. She don't want a man who be so ungrateful. She don't need a love to be painful. More time for your heart, she be grateful.
Wyre make me wanna say nakupenda pia, pia, aha, nakupenda pia. You make me wanna say nakupenda pia, pia, aha, nakupenda pia.
Nisubiri niwe wako, nikupe mahaba yangu yote, tuwe milele, mimi na wewe. See your friend tell me she don't really like me, but let me try see her what she really like before. We make a step on her yard and show her how me really feel. Listen up, let me show you truly what they did. Me want the culture, future in life, me want the soldier. Out of the land of misery, want the portia. See me treasure you, cause you are me fortune. Me without you, it could have been me torture. Adija nisubiri niwe wako, nikupe mahaba yangu yote, tuwe milele, mimi na wewe. Adija nisubiri niwe wako, nikupe mahaba yangu yote, tuwe milele, mimi na wewe. Utulivu wangu wakuisha tu, heri nisiachilie tumaini langu mie. Utulivu wangu wakuisha tu, heri nisiachilie tumaini langu mie. Adija nisubiri niwe wako, mahaba tuwe milele, mimi na wewe. Got you. Adija nisubiri niwe wako, mahaba tuwe milele. Girl, she ready. She never hold back, ready and steady. Guaranteed, pencil like an intellect. No doubt, class like an imbele. So me ready.
I'm so ready. Nionyeshe niko ready. Show me how to niko ready. I'ma like you, must be ready. Show me how to
girl, I come around me. Tell me that you want get a fling with me. Enough of them I try, but them can't get me. All of them I can't see them not ready. Yo, ready. The ideal woman, she a make her money now. She don't want a man who pay her bill, use her body now. Girl, I drive a fancy car and she live like a star. Nails done, hair done. Girl, she ready. She never hold back, ready and steady. Guaranteed, pencil like an intellect. No doubt, class like an imbele. So me ready.
I'm so ready. Nionyeshe niko ready. Show me how to niko ready. I'ma like you, must be ready. Show me how to do. Mimi ni bad girl gym. Yule ideal. Kinachokupendeza ndicho kinachonipendeza. Unasema nakufanyaga kama uko ready, mimi nasema nakuwaza. So niko ready kama remix na Wyre. Boom boom bash. Shanifanya niwe high.
Girl, she ready. She never hold back. ready and steady. Guarantee pencil like a lean telly. No doubt class like a lean ready. So me ready.
I'm so ready. Nionyeshe iko ready. Show me how to iko ready. I'm unlike you, must be ready. Show me how to do. Show me how you do. I really wanna know how you do. I'm ready to learn. Show me how to. Cause I'm unlike you, gonna know how to. Show me how you do. I really wanna know how you do. I'm ready to learn. Show me how to. Cause I'm unlike you, gonna know how to.
Yeah, she ready. She never hold back, ready and steady. Guarantee pencil like a lean telly. No doubt class like a lean belly. So me ready.
I'm so ready. Nionyeshe iko ready. Show me how to iko ready. I'm unlike you. Show me how to do this. Show me how to iko ready. I'm unlike you.
Straight to the point, bad girl want some. When I see you, I'm a wanna hold back none. Me and you and a little conversation. Tonight me I forget you want my intention. I don't care who you came here with. All I know, Mr. Wyre, me you're leaving with. Came here with a 5, going home with a 10. Now say bye-bye to your ex-girlfriend. Me say that.
She came straight to me. Tell me love child that I can't say it. She said that. She told me bear with me. But we can't carry on me no true. She said that. She came straight to me. Tell me love child that I can't say it. She said that. She told me bear with me. But we can't carry on me no true. She said that. She not care about intimidation. On the bed now she want to lay upon. Tell a boy straight that she want to get some. Tell a boy she not care who me with so. Hey, me never seen a bad girl like Sissy. Any girl traffic chat no she kill. She not give up like what them man feel. Body hot like she. She came straight to me. Tell me love child you better conversate. She said that. She told me bear with me. But we can't carry on without you. She said that. She came straight to me. Tell me love child you better conversate. She said that. She told me bear with me. Can't carry on without you. When she
We say that. Bad girl chat, I forget what I want. We say that. Some girl wish and hope and stress. I get what I want. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
You've also done very, very, very banger songs with international artists.
Yeah.
How did you get the links to do with them? People like Cecile, Alain,
and stuff.
Yeah.
What happened is, I think it was 2008. Around 2008, I met up with G Money, and he had my sound for some time, and he was like, you know, we were at an event with him, and he was like, hey, Wyre, I really like your sound. I'd like to see what you can do to get you onto a Jamaican rhythm. There's a friend of mine called Arif Cooper who's produced the relationships rhythm.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Which rhythm? You know, because I loved that rhythm. I was like, yeah, Arif is my boy. Let me get in touch with him and let's see what we can do to get you on that project. Alright, cool. So he got in touch with Arif. Arif sent us the rhythm, and I voiced it. When I sent it back to G Money, he loved it, and he sent it to Arif. Arif loved it as well. So my version ended up officially on the rhythm. So when the album came out, I remember at that point, I remember getting a call from the US. Like, hey, what's up, bro? How you doing? I'm good. The DJ in the US. He's like, I mean, this DJ is cool. And there's this new album that's come out. And I'm seeing, it's called The Relationship. I'm seeing Ginger. I'm seeing Sean Paul. I'm seeing Alain, Cecile. I'm seeing Collie Buds. Then I'm seeing Wyre.
That's what he said.
I'm like, he's like, is this you? I'm like, dude, you play the tune, man. What do you mean?
Yeah.
So when he played it, he had Love Child, Pandeke. I like, now, my guy, you finished us. Dude, you on this album? I'm like, yeah, man. So that project started opening a lot of doors. I started getting a lot of airplay in the Caribbean. I remember G sending me a text. He's like, congrats, I'm hearing you playing on Wyre FM.
Yeah.
And for me, I really wanted to crack the Caribbean market for the longest time. So a few years later, I reached out to Alain's team and to ask whether we can work on a project.
Yeah.
They responded and they were like, and she was like, okay, send me the music, let's see what we can work on. So that's when I dashed to the studio quickly with my producer. We started working on Nakupenda Pia.
Yeah.
I did my part, I did half the chorus, and then I did the verse, and I sent it. it was a long wait. It was the longest 1 week I've ever waited for.
You were waiting for the response.
Okay, can you buy? Maybe she didn't feel the vibe, or you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, she got in touch, and I remember getting an email, and she's saying, "Yo, I love the tune. You're a wicked artist. I'll voice it and send you the vocals." I'm like, yes. And I remember the day I received the vocals. I was in, where was I? I was in LD. I was doing a show in LD, and when I got back to the room, I got an email on my Dropbox, and it was her vocals. And she killed it. She sang in Swahili. You know what I mean?
And you know the one who wrote it for her?
No, she did it herself. So like, I was so jazzed, man, when she did that, man. And that song now took things to the next level. So that's when I planned. Around the same time is when I got nominated for the International Reggae Awards.
Yeah.
The awards were held in Florida. So and I got to perform, and thank God I also got to win my award, which is the best new entertainer. So about 2 days after that is when I flew to Jamaica to shoot the video for Nakupenda Pia. And it's a beautiful country, man. Very humid. The weather is like coastal. I had a big problem with the food because it was all spicy.
Yeah.
Me and spicy food, we don't get along.
You do not relate.
No. Me and Chili hatusikizani.
Back to Love Child.
Yeah.
Why Love Child? As in, you know, I had an argument earlier on with my team. Then I was like, probably he could be the only child. That's why the Love Child.
It was a high school nickname. We used to have these burnouts in high school after school prep. The guys used to come out, and all the rappers used to come out from their classes and come to our class.
Yeah.
And surround my desk, and then my desk mate used to play the beats with a spoon.
It was a team.
With a spoon on his desk.
Yeah. Light. Okay.
So my desk mate used to play the beats on his desk with a spoon.
Yeah.
Then all the rappers used to come through doing their thing. So everybody was coming through all gangster and stuff, and then I was the only one who used to sing R&B love songs.
Oh.
So all these guys were like, man, this is a ladies' man, this is lovey-dovey guy, Love Child. So it stuck.
Love Child.
Love Child. So I was like, okay, I'll take it, I'll run with it.
And it's so amazing that you're using as in your own name, Wyre, for your star name.
For my, so I'm like, I think it's the easiest way to.
Why didn't you think of calling yourself?
I went through that phase of
Kijina?
trying to look for KW Stew. I'm like, nah, it's just not working, man. So I was like, you know what, let me just use my name. And I eventually just got to like it. So it stuck. Yeah. Yeah.
Which would you say your 3 most songs that mean too much for you?
Wow. Okay, Uprising, definitely Uprising, because I think one, it's one of the tunes that started getting me airplay internationally.
Yeah.
And also the message, what the country was. I wrote it after the post-election violence. And I mean, I saw how youths were being misused at that point, so I put all my feelings on pen and paper, and that's what came out. So I addressed that issue, and I could tell that the youths really connected to it, because anytime I perform it, guys are singing the words back to back.
Sing along.
Fresh Air Productions. Enough respect going out to Arif, Super Cooper, Love Child on the case, and feed the youths on the scene. Feed the youths on the scene. Time for the youths to rise up. This is an uprising. Yeah, this is an uprising. Yeah, this is an uprising. Feed the youths on the scene. Tell them not to lose hope in life. No, you see, this is an uprising. Yeah, this is an uprising. Yeah, this is an uprising. Feed the youths on the scene. Tell them not to lose hope in life. No, you see. Foundation and the future be the only thing, and the focus of the youths, and whether get a youths or the uptown youths, and it no matter strap on your Gideon boots, and ready now to burn down corruption, burn drug abuse, and burn negativity in life for the youths, and we no 1% fight anymore, and we no 1% fight anymore.
Another favorite of mine. This is a hard question. I hate this question. You know your song is like your baby, man.
Yeah, and you really can't pick the best.
Nakupenda Pia was an amazing project. Because I got to travel the world a lot because of that song. And what else? Let me get back to you about that. The last one.
It's alright. And one of the most awards that you got and felt like I really deserved this one.
My International Reggae Award at the Ramas. That one, man, for me, it had been many years of me working on that reggae and dancehall sound, and the fact that internationally it was being recognized. And I was up against some serious reggae heavyweights, man. I was up against Chronix, Tommy Lee Sparta, D Major. That means, for me, it meant that somebody out there is listening and they're loving the sound. So definitely my Arama Award was one of my favorites. Yeah.
And currently you've gone chini ya maji. Is there anything that we should be waiting for?
For a good reason. I've been working on my next album. The last album I dropped was in 2015.
Yeah.
And that was the Lion album. And yeah, man, this year it's time, man. It's that time. I've just dropped the first single off it.
Yeah.
And doing pretty well right now. It's called Shuja.
Yeah.
The story behind that is that I felt that people are going through a lot during this season, especially this year with whatever's going on with ongoing pandemic. A lot of people have lost their jobs. A lot of people have lost loved ones. Some people are unwell, actually, suffering from this disease. And I was like, you know what? Whatever situation you're in, it's not a ticket to necessarily to decide what your future will be. You know what I mean? You can definitely come out victorious out of any negative situation. And that's why I put in the title Shuja. You can come out a hero out of any situation that you're in. It's just people need to have some positivity with whatever's going on in the world right now. Yeah. Hey, what's up, people? This is Wyre the Lion. Big up Afrogenge for having me on the set. Big up DJ Slava, Triple P TV for having me on. Respect. Big up Royal Hometown Limousines for the ride around town. I enjoyed myself. Next up is my latest single, Shuja. Keep it right here. Lion to that. Boom. Respect.
Yo! Some of that positive vibe. Woo, 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 woo. Yeah, Lion. With the youths on the scene. Yeah. How long will you wait for it to see what you will make for? Wewe ni shujaa usichoke, shujaa usichoke. How long will you wait for it to see what you will make for? Wewe ni shujaa usichoke, shujaa usichoke. Me want to tell you how me really feel without deceit. Cause when me look at life, it's like a journey on repeat. No threatening on me life could ever make a boy retreat. Anything it take a boy to succeed, me happy do it. This journey kinda long, but then we can't take defeat. And any thoughts I gave and me just go and delete. Me know me see the light at the end of the tunnel. Judge be me guide, know me can't fumble. The journey of life, keep walking. Don't stop, keep walking. Lazima ujikaze. Baraka za Mola usipate. In the journey of life, keep walking. Don't stop, keep walking. Lazima ujikaze. Baraka za Mola usipate.
So what will be your advice to probably a young artist who's almost giving up or who wants to try your genre?
I'd say try and, you know what, you need to be relentless.
Yeah?
Success doesn't come overnight. I'm still looking for it, man. You know what I mean? Michael Jackson died working 8 hours a day, man. If that's not that's not the grind, I don't know what is. You know what I mean? But you never stop learning as an artist. You never get to a point where you're too successful to learn a new trick in the game. You know what I mean? So keep on being relentless. Keep on pushing. If this DJ or producer does not like a TV producer does not like your music, go to the next. keep on trying to push your voice, your sound. Things are much easier nowadays. When we started out, we had to physically take our music to the stations on CD. Nowadays, you have the internet. You can create your YouTube channel, upload your music. You have social media to push it. You can have your own fan base online. You really don't need that other push. It's always an added advantage to get the airplay, yes, but you can create your own loyal fan base, and work with that. Yeah, definitely. Just be relentless in whatever you do, man. If you believe in your music, you'll do anything to make it take off.
If Wyre was not an artist, what will be Wyre doing?
That's a very hard question, because I don't see myself
doing anything else.
You know, I've been asked that question so many times, and I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, don't know.
You don't know.
Yeah, I decided at a very early age that this is what I want to pursue. Definitely. Yeah.
So, and why didn't you maybe go to school music or something?
Well, I studied the closest thing. Because I wanted to get into production. I didn't want to be a musician alone. I wanted to be a music producer, sound engineer. So I studied. I did the closest thing that encompassed all, which was mass communication. And there were so many modules covered. You name it. That's why, like I told you, I also did journalism. Yeah. Everything, broadcasting. I did the whole thing. Yeah, and that's how I ended up doing it. But I have no regrets.
You have no regrets
of ever doing doing that, because I ended up as a producer. I'm in a better place to even give advice to fellow artists and also nurture new talent as well.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks
it has been amazing.
I've had a blast, man.
And that brings us to the end of our interaction with Wyre and the end of our show. You can follow me on my social media handles at Kavata_ and at Afrogenge. Until next time, pass it on to DJ Slaver.
So we went back to the studio, Chimney Records. Hey, Kingston girl, won't you come take a walk with me? Yeah. Kingston girl, won't you come take a walk with me? Nikupeleke hadi Kenya, come back home. Nikupeleke hadi Kenya, come back home. Complete is the way that me feel anytime you look at me. Me know what we try come out of this island. Been around and seen a lot of gal around AI, but none of them still caught me eye. See you that I want and I need in my life, AI. Me wanna show you bits of me culture, so let me take you to a country that me call me on. Down in East Africa, Kingston girl, won't you come take a walk with me? Yeah. Kingston girl, won't you come take a walk with me? Nikupeleke hadi Kenya, come back home. Nikupeleke hadi Kenya, come back home. Me want to take you to a town called Nairobi. Take you on Panama tattoo the whole day. Take you to me family so that you know me. Make we eat that yama choma the whole day. Baby, come in on me yard. Let me show you how me want. Treat you from the start. Remember that? So let me take you to a country that me call me yard. Down in East Africa, Kingston girl, won't you come take a walk with me? Yeah. Kingston girl, won't you come take a walk with me? Nikupeleke hadi Kenya, come back home. Nikupeleke hadi Kenya, come back home. You don't need to think twice about it. No need to think twice, think twice. There's a first time for everything. First time for everything. Trust my words when I say I'ma treat you like royalty. Let me take you to the motherland. Let me treat you like a queen. Kingston girl, won't you come take a walk with me? Yeah. Kingston girl, won't you come take a walk with me? Nikupeleke hadi Kenya, come back home. Nikupeleke hadi Kenya, come back home. Kingston girl, won't you come take a walk with me? Yeah. Kingston girl, won't you come take a walk with me? Nikupeleke hadi Kenya, come back home. Nikupeleke hadi Kenya, come back home.
Just like we said earlier, Wyre is a killer performer. His performances electrifying, sharing stages with some of the biggest names and dancers. Wakina Ian Pale, doing his live thing with a live band, Gravity Band, big reggae band in Kenya. He's done stages, Ngoma Festival, amefanya Koroga Festival, amefanya Safaricom Live, he's done Vegas 7, just but to name a few. Here is a montage of some of the shows where he's been killing it. Yeah.
Straight to the point, bad girl, what's up? Let me see where we want now. Hey! I forget you what I'm saying. Oh baby! Look, check on the kiss. We don't till I'm white, till I'm white, till I'm white. Where we want? Say! We don't till I'm white, till I'm white, till I'm white. Where we want? Mike! Straight to the point, bad girl, what's up? Let me see what we want now, boy, right now. Me and you and a little conversation. Tonight me have to get you on the thing. Wyre! I don't care who you think. Mr. Wyre, me you're leaving. Came here with a fight, going with a thing. Now say bye-bye to you. She say that. She gets straight to me. Tell me long time that I can't say. She say that. She can't be with me, but I can't carry on without you. She say that. She came straight to me. Don't tell you that I come and say to. She say that. She can't play with me, but I can't carry on without you. She say that.
Kilicho na mwanzo mazee, akikosi kuwa na mwisho. So we come to the end of our show today. Wyre has shared his story. Mazee, imekuwa so inspiring mazee. Hiyo journey more than 20 years mazee, na bado ako relevant mpaka saizi. Hope kama msanii, unaona msee ako na merchandise yake mazee, inakuonyesha yani grind bado ni real. Na pia lazima uweke God mbele. Bila kusahau, these guys, Royal Hometown Limousine, the guys behind the show. Ukiangalia set yetu mazee, tuna cruise around. These guys mazee wana support sana talent, Kenyan music to the world. Yeah, wako tu just here on Ngong Road, opposite Ngong Hills Hotels. Remember, you can follow me on Instagram at Slava DJ Kenya. Ama on Facebook, that is DJ Slava. Ama unaweza follow Triple P TV on Facebook, that is PPP TV Kenya. Ama unaweza subscribe to my YouTube channel, that is DJ Slava Kenya, or Triple P YouTube channel, that is PPP TV Kenya, or at Kavata_ at Blackwings KE. Yeah, manze. So till next time. Yeah, na unajua next time tuko na nani? Sailors Gang. Boom! Manze usimiss. Till next time. Peace.
King of the jungle, love child, first lady, Washington Harmony.
Honey Hall.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing East African Bashman crew. They know them fire. Work it, you know them fire. Work it, you know we fire. Work it, you know we fire. Work it, fire, fire. You know we fire. Yes, man, we fire. You know we fire. You know we fire.
In the club, everybody just push up your hand. Hey, oh, hey, oh. Pretty girl on the block, won't you wind up your waist? Hey, oh.